Shortly after 5:30 p.m. on Thursday, September 14th, 2024, and Calvin Castine on Maple Street in Rouse's Point, on the corner of Clinton Street, and across the road is the Liberty Street entrance. We're here because Champlain Children's Learning Center is celebrating an important anniversary. A little over 25 years ago, a quarter of a century, a bunch of people had a vision that this might happen, and it happened just about 25 years ago. I interviewed, recently I saw an interview I did with Bob Morgan on August 14th, 1998, and talking about the opening of Champlain Children's Learning Center. So it's been operating here after the former St. Patrick's school here in Rouse's Point for a quarter of a century. And people had a vision that Grandma was no longer readily available to watch the kids when Mom and Dad went to work. So a new alternative, a new reality had to take place if people were going to be able to join the workforce. So that new reality has been thriving for the past quarter century. We're going to find out more about it and help them, actually watch them celebrate their 25th anniversary. When I was watching that video that we did 25 years and 1 month ago, one of the persons that was mentioned said, "I wonder if she's still involved." And I walk in, and there she is. What's your name, young lady?
My name is Jamie Basilier.
And Jamie, you were one of the, can't say founding fathers, founding mothers of this. Founders of this. And Bob Morgan and others wanted to get this going. You're one of the people that they went to for guidance and leadership.
They are. And, I can remember the day Bob Morgan walked into my office, and he had a roll of drawings in his hand that was a sketch of what he envisioned a learning center to be in Champlain or Rouse's Point. I think originally Champlain, and then this building became available. And, sooner rather than later, he wrangled other people from the northern tier, business leaders, business owners, educators, who all really recognized the need that childcare is a workforce issue. There were budding businesses up here who had employees who needed childcare.
Yeah, so as I said outside before I came in, Grandma was no longer available to help with the kids.
Grandma might have been working,
Right.
She might have been a career grandma, yes.
That's right. So those old days, and when my kids were growing up, my mother was available, but those things,
Not always the case.
That's right. So what is your title, and what was your title 25 years
Yeah,
ago?
it
A
hasn't-
quarter century.
I know it hasn't changed a lick. I'm the executive director of the Child Care Council of the North Country.
All right, and that sounds impressive. And who do you work for then? What is the child care?
So the Child Care Council of the North Country is a charitable organization, a 501c3 not-for-profit corporation. We too have a board of directors, just like the Learning Center, and we have a mission to strengthen child care providers and recruit them and help them stay active and engaged and on top of their game all over the North Country.
Okay, I would think that maybe sometime in the last 25 years you've kind of pointed at this place and said, here's what they did and here's what you can do when other people approach you.
The Champlain Children's Learning Center is the shining star in Clinton County, in the North Country, certainly in the Northern Tier. Just look around. It's stood the test of time, weathered hard times,
Yes.
right? Mm-hmm. And have come through some darkness and The center is fully enrolled. The staff stayed with the program throughout COVID. We're actually recognizing 2 staff members tonight, who were originally hired 25 years ago. They're still here, Becky Filion and Leanne Rye. And so we're going to have a little special break in our program to acknowledge them, because think about it, they were hired 25 years ago and they're still here.
Yes. And when I was coming in here, there was a youngster in the hall who was probably about 10 years old, and he's looking in the rooms and remembering so long ago when he used to come here, you know. So it's an important part of youngsters' lives.
Absolutely, it surely is. And this child care center has really become a community, right, for children and their families. They do Halloween parties and craft fairs and open houses and spring gatherings, and it draws the community, and it's a hub.
It is. Well, I'm sure you've got a lot of people here you want to rub elbows with and chat with, so we won't hold you up unless there's something else that you feel we should know right now, Jamie.
You know, I think it's simply amazing that you were here 25 years ago filming a very similar story, and you know, times have been very tough for child care programs. And it's a testament to Becky's leadership and the support of the board and funding from the federal government that have helped keep this center, to keep this ship upright.
Okay, and we can't thank our old friend Bob Morgan enough for what he did.
Oh my gosh.
The late Bob Morgan, but you know.
We think about Bob Morgan every single day. We will never really know how much he donated to this center that never crossed the books, paying contractors to retrofit this building. We had a small grant. I think it was $100,000, which sounds like a lot of money, and 25 years ago, it was more money than it would be today. But this is a big building.
Yes.
And we had to do plumbing and electrical and install cabinetry. I think he paid for all of that and never told a soul.
That was Bob Morgan.
That was Bob Morgan.
Thank you, Jamie.
Thanks, Calvin.
And now we're going to talk to one of those people who's been here for the entire duration. 2 of you here. I see the other one is in the background.
Yeah. You probably won't get her to talk, though.
And what is your name, young lady?
I'm Becky Filion. I'm the director here. I actually started as a preschool teacher, and about 13 years ago became the director. So.
Congratulations, 13 years later.
Yeah, thank you.
I've known Becky just about all of her life. She was in my oldest child's grade, and that was so you hadn't been out of school too many years, about 4 if we're counting. When
Yeah, I came here right out of college. My plan was to get some experience as a teacher here and then move on to a public school, and I just never left.
well,
So.
not yet, at least.
No, I'm not planning on going anywhere.
So it's been ups and downs over the years, and you know, it's a great survival story, I think.
Yeah.
And how are things right now, the population-wise and so on?
Right now, things are really good. We actually have better enrollment than we've had in a long time. COVID, we kind of got lucky with COVID. There was a lot of funding that came as a result of it, and it's really kept us going. When a lot of other places had to close, a lot of their daycares couldn't make it through it, we never had to close. And as a result, we've gotten rewarded for that, and so we're doing better financially right now than we have in a long time. And our infant room is booked for a year. Our toddler room is booked for a year. We have a couple openings in preschool and a couple in school age, and that's it. So
preschool, what do you call preschool?
3 to 5 year olds
3 to 5.
are in preschool. Yeah. So we do wraparound care for the UPK program as well, and after school program is 5 and up. Our infants are 6 weeks to 18 months, and our toddlers are 18 months to 3 years.
Okay. And if I have a kid in here, do I get special treatment to get my next kid in here?
Oh, yeah, definitely. You go right to the top of the list when you do that. So, yeah.
So that can probably create some problems sometimes when your populations are right at the edge.
Yep. But we're very, like, we try to, it's almost like putting together a puzzle, how you do enrollment. So we do have waiting lists, but especially for the infant room, it's, you have to wait for them to be born. So, and you have to wait for maternity leaves. Paid family leave is much longer than it used to be. So it's like putting a puzzle together when you're piecing children into the building. So.
Okay, and what hours are you open that people can deliver their children here?
We're open from 6:30 to 5:30, Monday through Friday. We only close for major holidays. We close for a week at Christmas time and a couple days in the summer to do training and cleaning.
So it's year-round?
Yep, it's year-round. And parents, we're very flexible. So especially when you get to preschool or school age, we do drop-in care. We do, daily rates. We do weekly rates. So we really try to be as flexible as we can to get as many families in here.
During the summer months, do your school-age population, does that jump up a bit?
Yeah, we get quite a few kids for the summer, and they're here all day. So it's a very busy building in the summer.
I'm not sure I like that all-day way you express that. You're supposed to say it with a smile this time.
I did. I smiled.
Okay, how big a staff do we have here?
Right now we have 14 that work year-round, and then we have 2 that come in for the summer.
So total of 16, including yourself. Now, do you do any work yourself, or you just hang around?
No, I just hang out all day. I am very rarely in the office. We're always in the classrooms. Kathy is the assistant director here, and we're the sub, we're the janitor, we're the accountant. We do all those jobs. So it's definitely not a sit-down job.
And I suppose nobody ever shows up after 5:30, right, for their child?
It happens here and there. Yeah. Not too often, once in a while. So, yeah.
'Cause I was outside here at 5:30, and some people were just leaving.
5:29 and 59 seconds. Yeah.
Okay, Becky, what do you have planned for tonight?
So tonight we're just having a little. Our board president's going to speak a little bit. We have someone here from Quality Stars. That's a program that we've worked with for 12 years now, and it's an evaluation system. So it's a rigorous set of standards that we follow, and they come and evaluate every couple of years. And we hold a 4-star rating, which is pretty much the highest we can go right now based on our building and our staffing and all of that. And the reward for it is we get a lot of supplies, furniture, stuff that we would never be able to afford, shelving, pretty much anything we need. Also training. So one of their representatives is here, so you can talk to her after if you want.
Okay. So if people, I know you have a waiting list in a lot of these categories, but if people want to find out more about either working here or getting their children in here, how do they do it?
We have a Facebook site that they can message. They can also email. Our email address is learningcenter98@gmail.com, and then our phone number is 518-297-2019. And so just leave a message. Like I said, we're never in the office, but we will call you back.
So you do have a Champlain's Children's Center Facebook page.
Yes.
That's the title of it.
Yep. Yeah, and you can message on there, and we try to get back to everybody within less than a week, hopefully. So.
Within 6 months, she will get back to you.
Yep. Depends on how busy we are, but yeah.
Okay. Anything else, Becky, before I let you mingle with all these folks?
That's pretty much it. Do you want to speak to Joanne from Quality Stars? I can pull her
why
over.
not?
All right, I'll go grab her.
All right, thank you. Becky Fillion. Okay, now I'm going to talk to people I don't even know. And what is your name?
Hi, my name is Joanne Toth, and I am a regional coordinator with Quality Stars New York.
I got the Joanne part. What was the last name?
Toth?
Toth?
Yes.
T-O-T-H?
Yes.
All right. I've never met a Toth before.
We're here.
Nice to meet you. And?
I'm Ann Frazier, and I'm a quality improvement specialist with Quality Stars New York.
Okay, so Your organization, what exactly do you do?
So we are New York State's Quality Rating and Improvement System. So we are a voluntary program open to children, to child care programs birth through age 5 who are licensed. And what we do is New York has a series of standards that go above and beyond minimum regulations that define quality and best practices in the state. So Becky's program had voluntarily joined Quality Stars New York over 10 years ago, probably.
We were here for the field test.
And we've been working on a series of standards, and Becky just defines which standards mean the most to her and what she wants to work on. And together we meet with her monthly and come up with a plan for improvement and provide resources and support to help her meet her goals for improvement.
Oh, so you're improving Becky all the time.
Becky's been improving us as well, so we wish that all of our programs were as committed as Becky. She definitely has a passion for taking advantage of all of the resources that are out there to help her program. So it's with that commitment and that intent to really try and move forward and provide quality care for parents that really has really motivated our journey. She makes our jobs easier, I think, just from being so invested in the program and our mission.
Okay, once she leaves, you can tell me the truth here, but off camera.
You know, the great
Joanne was their first quality improvement specialist. I'm the third. So she has survived all of us to date.
Wore out 3 of them.
Where do you people operate out of?
Well, our central offices are located in New York City, and we have quality improvement specialists around the whole state. So we serve over 1,500 programs throughout New York State. So we have a 1 through 5 star rating of quality, and it goes above and beyond minimum guidelines. So everything that Becky is doing is all above what the New York State minimum requirements for regulations are. So, and to know that times are so trying for child care programs between staffing and supervising and everything, and to know despite all of that hard work that Becky still devotes time to keep improving, it says a lot about this program. And I think when you see the staff and just seeing the program's growth with your furnishings in your classrooms, it just speaks a lot to the dedication that Becky and all of her team have. It's amazing to see.
So do you have an office somewhere in the area, or do you travel to get up here? Or?
We all travel remotely, so we all of the specialists are scattered through across the state and serve about 40 programs each, and we visit them every month. We work with family child care, we work with UPK school programs, we work with child care centers and Head Starts, and we're a voluntary program, so anyone who's licensed who wants to learn more can contact us, and we'd be happy to have Ann go and visit them.
Yes. I work in Clinton, Essex, and Franklin counties. Our North Country team also has a specialist in St. Lawrence and Jefferson Lewis. So there are 3 of us regionally. And Joanne is our supervisor from the Capital District region.
Okay. So you're on the road all the time then?
I am on the road, but I have to say it is a pleasure to work with directors who have the vision to see where they want their program to be 10 years down the road. And that makes our job a lot easier as a specialist to be able to help them create that vision and work with them to develop from the simplest table in a classroom where children's feet touch the floor, to cribs in the infant room, to social emotional well-being of children and the materials that support teachers working with children. So it's fun, it's interesting.
I imagine you're here to teach them, but sometimes you probably come here and learn. Here in other places you learn too, and you share that with other places you go to.
We have shared Becky's information to other programs, and Becky's just a wonderful mentor even for some new child care directors. We have a lot of turnover in the early childhood field, so even at the director level. So it's always nice that we can rely upon some veteran staff members who can kind of pass along some words of advice and share some resource. And I think part of what we do at Quality Stars New York is we try to know that we are not competitors with each other in early childhood, that we are collaborators and we're working together to provide quality care for all parents. And there's something that we all learn from each other. And I know from my time working with Becky, I've learned so much from her that I can then take and share with other programs that I work with. So it's a nice relationship.
Anything else, ladies, that I should be asking you here? I'm not smart enough to ask.
Well, I think that with Quality Stars, it's not only that journey towards growth, but it's the resources and support that we've been able to provide for Becky. So a lot of the furnishings that you might see are because of purchases that we made that aligned with the goals that Becky had for her programs, as well as continuing education opportunities where a lot of staff were able to go and continue their education free of charge with scholarships through our program. So with child care centers really not having a lot of those opportunities because it's not a money-making industry, it's so nice to be able to have that extra support during these trying times.
It's not a money making. You're just happy to break even.
You're happy to break even, and it's the most important job in the world because without Becky, these parents couldn't go to work.
That's right.
So without us, there'd be no other people being able to go to work and be confident in their work and knowing they're in good hands with you.
Yeah, when you drop your child off, you want to not have to sit at work and worry about them.
You deserve peace of mind, yes.
And it's a very, Quality Stars is a very holistic approach. It's not just about the classroom environment. It's about engaging families in the early childhood education field so they can move into public school and support their children. It's working with systems that build management and leadership. It's about building those qualifications through the scholarships Joanne mentioned. So there's a lot to it in building that good practice that improves outcomes for children.
And that's what makes a high quality program. It's not just the learning environment, it's also the professional development, the management and leadership and the budget and the business practices and the family engagement. You put all of those elements together and that's what dictates a high quality program.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Shortly after 6 p.m. now, people are starting to gather in this tiny room. Chris Huckrow, the chairman of the board, will be talking shortly here as more and more people make their way in. Our very familiar faces here and some new ones for me. So I'll listen to Mr. Huckrow here once he gets going.
Welcome everybody, is that okay? Good evening, welcome to the celebration of 25 years of the Champlain Children's Learning Center. It's hard to believe. My name is Chris Huckrow. I'm the current board of director president, and it's really been an honor to serve the Learning Center, and it's an honor to recognize some of our guests that are here tonight. And some of them we're going to hear from shortly. So first I'd like to welcome Joanne Toth, did I get that right? And Ann Frazier, two folks from Quality Stars, an amazing program that we were actually the first center in the North Country to participate in. And it's really been an amazing relationship. We've benefited greatly, the children have benefited greatly. It's a great working relationship. And I don't want to steal their thunder. I know, I think it's Joanne. Joanne wants to say a few words in a minute, or maybe Ann, or maybe both of them do. By the way, this is a karaoke machine, if the spirit moves you. You know, another great relationship we had, and I don't think John's here tonight, but the United Way has been helpful to the center in a number of ways every year, and in some years extra helpful when we needed it. I know John wanted to be here, and maybe he'll show up late, but I'd like to recognize the United Way for all of their support over the last 25 years. You know, these people to recognize, and they're not here to be recognized. David Bray, who I've never met, but I know Jamie knows David, and he's one of the founders of the center. So hopefully he'll wander in, and I think he wanted to say a few words here tonight. We're actually joined by another one of our founders in spirit, Bob Morgan. He's here. He's always here. We wouldn't be here without Bob, and we probably wouldn't have succeeded a couple of times along the way without Bob here in the room or here in presence. So Bob and his wife Ann are both with us here tonight. Thanks for being here tonight, Bob. We're We're also blessed to have somebody here tonight who's actually here pretty much every night. And I want to recognize Becky Filion, our director. I can't say enough about how fortunate we are to have such a great teacher and leader as our director. Becky has seen the center through some tough times and through some great times, and it's her calm demeanor, her resolve, and her leadership skills that has guided the staff through those times. And she's got an amazing right-hand woman, Kathy Tatro. Where are you, Kathy? She's always don't take this the wrong way, but I did some math, and between the two of you guys, you've been here over 45 years. Wow.
You're not now, or so.
Don't say that out loud.
I know we have a tremendous staff. Many of our staff have been here for over a decade, some even over 2 decades, including our director. And we also have an amazing board. And some of the board members can say the same. I've been here for more than a decade. I actually brought my oldest son, Aiden Huckrow, here in 2001, shortly after, a few years after the center opened. He just graduated from college with a bachelor's degree. I joined the board shortly after that. And 2 more children, and all 3 of my kids started here as infants, all the way through the UPK program. And you know, they're all doing great. They actually we're from Shazy, and Shazy was one of the last schools in probably the world to teach handwriting to the elementary students, cursive. So they actually tailor-made a program for, I think there was one other, maybe Plain Duty Act, maybe 1 or 2 other Shazy, but tailor-made a program just so that they would be prepared for handwriting when they got to Shazy. Leanne? Where are you?
Right here.
I just want to let you know that Aiden wanted to be here tonight because I told him there was a karaoke machine and he was going to sing that Barney song, right? If all the raindrops were lemon drops and gumdrops, but he had to work. So, and I can't sing, so or some other time. So last, I'd like to introduce another one of our board members and another one of our founders, longtime board member, Jamie Basilier. Jamie is Jamie's the director of the Child Care Coordinating Council of the North Country. It's a mouthful. And you know, she's been president of our board for a number of terms. She's been here since the beginning. She's an amazing and invaluable resource to the center. It's certainly been my honor to have served with her for the past couple of decades. And Jamie, I know you want to say a few words, so I'm going to hand this off to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'll be very, very brief because I just wanted to, you know, sort of tell the short story, right? 26 years ago, Bob Morgan walked into my office with a roll of drawings that was a sort of a rendition of what he envisioned a learning center to be in the Northern Tier, in Champlain at the time. We acquired this building and developed it here. And soon after, David Bray joined him. They were employers, and they brought other employers and leaders and educators to the table to form a board of directors. We got a grant. The grant was for like $100,000, which sounds like a lot of money, and maybe 25 years ago it was more than it would be today. There's David. Hello. And we will never know exactly how much private money Bob Morgan contributed to the renovation of this building, which included plumbing, electrical, carpentry, and that $100,000 really went towards some furniture, some basic furniture, and some initial salaries for the staff. 2 of those staff are still employed here 25 years later, and the board of directors would really like to recognize Becky Filion and Leanne Rye. If you would come here, we have a little gift for you. They were hired 25 years ago in August, and we sat on children's chairs for the interview. That's the only furniture that we had in this building was small tables and children's chairs. And Celine Paquette and I, and probably some other board members, sat and interviewed people. And after we interviewed Becky and after we interviewed Leanne, we just, we hired more people too. And these two made us complete. And so the board of directors has a little gift for Leanne, and also a pot of mums on the table, and a gift for Becky. Heartfelt gratitude felt to your longevity here. Hats off to you. We couldn't have done it without you. You've led us through the tunnel into some light, and we're all here today to celebrate. So thank you very much. Say a few words.
Yeah.
Joanne and Ann, would you come say a few words about Quality Stars New York and the longevity of the program in Quality Stars?
Yes, thank you for that, Jamie. So, hi everyone, my name is Joanne Toth and I'm joined by Ann Frazier, and we are with Quality Stars New York. And what that is it's New York State's quality rating and improvement system. So New York State has a set of standards that go above and beyond minimum daycare regulations that define high quality care. This is a voluntary program, and when Quality Stars started, Becky was, like we said before, was the first program in the North Country to say, I want in and I want to join. And learning about different standards that are different than regulations is a humbling experience. It's not easy to have someone come into your program and look at everything that you're doing, from policies and procedures to your learning environment to the way that you engage families. And Becky volunteered for this on top of everything else that she needed to do because she wanted to take advantage of what else was out there to help support quality. And together, we have been together ever since. I had the pleasure of being one of her quality specialists who would come and meet with her monthly for her to decide which of the standards that New York State has defined as high quality and which ones did she want to meet, which ones were meaningful to her in her program. And we would come up with a series of goals and steps it needed to meet those goals. And then once I left to take on a new role in Quality Stars, we had the pleasure of offering Ann Frazier's support to her, and Ann is her current specialist. So after all of these years, we're still meeting monthly with Becky, not only working on goals in terms of policies and systems, but we're able to offer some lovely resources to help her along the way. So a lot of the materials, furnishings that the staff are able to access in their classrooms came from Quality Stars grant money. A lot of staff were able to go back to school and continue their education with scholarships from Quality Stars. So every resource that has been out there, Becky has been staying with us through these trying times to still know that it's worth it to invest in her program and for all of you. And thank you to you and all of your team for making that commitment, because we know how busy you are. And I just think it's just so wonderful that parents are paying you the best quality compliment every day. They are leaving you with their most prized possession, and that's not something that's easy for a parent to do. And to know that they are dropping off at a place that really wants to go above and beyond all of the time says a lot about you. And it allows parents to have that peace of mind to go to work and do what they need to do every day. So on behalf of Ann and myself, we just want to thank you for your commitment to quality, and thank you for the gifts that you have brought us, because we learned so much from you that we can bring to other daycare centers as well. And we continue to keep working with you, because our quest for quality never ends. We're always striving to do better, and I think that's why you're all still here, because you know there's still work that needs to be done. So congratulations to you and to all of your staff. We're very grateful for all of you.
Here's here.
Thank you very much, Joanne and Ann and Jamie. And introduced a little earlier was David Bray, but he wasn't here. Well, he's here now.
He's here.
Hi, David. How are you? David, I was told you might want to say a few words. I don't know if I'm putting you on the spot or not.
He said you could sing if you chose.
Yeah. Some good stuff with it.
Sorry about the masks, but 2 days ago, my wife was exposed to COVID, so we figured we'd be safe. We don't want to infect any new folks. I can remember, I think it was 27 years ago, when Jamie and I first met. I had known Bob Morgan for several years before that. Bob and I was always renting warehouse space from Bob when he was running the old Kintex plant. And I was sitting in a meeting down in Plattsburgh on a committee to try to figure out how to employ handicapped people. And somebody asked me what I thought about what we needed up in Champlain. And after looking at a lot of my employees, I realized that there was a big gap, and a lot of our young children weren't having the opportunity to be exposed to early childhood education. And I said, I think we need an early childhood learning center up in the Champlain area. 2 days later, I get a phone call from Jamie asking me if I was serious about it. I said I was. And the three of us, Bob and Jamie and I, put our heads together, and thankfully Jamie was a great grant writer, and Bob and I knew how to go out and twist wrists and get money from different companies that we had here in town, and we kicked this place off. And to this day, I brag about my involvement with this thing, because I think it's such a great place, and it's such a good service that it just offers to the whole community. When we set it up, and I think it's still that way, it didn't want it finance-based thing. We wanted it open no matter what your income was. We wanted everybody to be able to come here, because those are the people I was seeing in my workplace. Nice people, but they had never been exposed to education. They were sending their kids home to stay with grandma, who was a nice person, but we had that circle that was going on. And I just felt that it would be great if we could find some way to break the circle and do it. And it certainly sounds like the last 25 years between the staff that we have here, and it's still going on. And so thank you very much for all of your efforts. You should all be very proud of this facility that you created. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, David. I don't know if you have any real idea of the dramatic impact you've had on the families and the children of the North Country. And I wonder how many students have come through those doors over the last 25 years. We probably had our 10,000th student a few years back. Who knows? But it's a big splash, and it's gonna keep rippling. Before I hand this over to our director, Becky, was there anyone else who wanted to say anything? Once again, I'll introduce you to our esteemed director, Becky Fillion.
So I was telling Calvin earlier, I graduated from college and I was hired here a few weeks later with this whole idea that I have a public school teaching degree. I'm going to get some experience and hop off to a public school, and here I am 25 years later. So,
thank heavens.
And I wouldn't change a minute of it. I wanted to talk about our staff. You can have the best building in the world and all the most amazing equipment, but if you don't have the right staff, it doesn't matter. And we have always been very fortunate to have the right staff. From the moment we opened to today, we have these amazing women and a couple of men. We've had a couple over the years, but mostly women that have just dedicated themselves to this place. And so I tried thinking of what a child care provider actually does. So I started coming up with a list, and I was just writing them down as I thought of them. Of course, educator is first, but you're a comforter, a psychologist, a counselor, a nurse, a janitor, an accountant, an interior designer, an artist, a musician, a gym teacher, an entertainer, a weightlifter, a negotiator, a friend, a role model, technical support, a chef, a referee. Sometimes you are a chair, sometimes you are a bed, and you're a potty trainer. The qualities that you need to work in childcare are kindness, compassion, nurturing, patience, stamina, emotional stamina, upper body strength, creativity, thinking on your feet, cooperation, give and take, letting things go, flexibility, motivation, and a sense of humor. There has always been laughter in this building. Even on the hardest days, there is laughter. So We're not just coworkers. These ladies that I work with, we are friends, we're family. We've lived together for 25 years, some of us, so they're very special people. I wanted to acknowledge our original staff, our first employees. There were 5 of us, 5 terrified, fresh out of school, fresh-faced people. Leanne Rye was the infant teacher. Bobby Jo Johnson was our director. Debbie Perot worked as an assistant. Julie Rigsby worked as an assistant. Sandy Trombley was the infant teacher, and I was the preschool teacher. Shortly after that, we hired Gail Bordeaux, Kathy Tatro, and Tammy Brink. Kathy and Tammy are both still here. Over the years, we've had a lot of long-timers, people who were in the trenches for many, many years, a lot of them over 10 years. And that's Kelly Cronkright, Patty Guerin, Jen Underwood, Amanda Hilliker, Tammy Brink, Jen Furman, and Jerry Carter. We have some current staff that was actually students here many, many years ago. Victoria Stickle, Ashley Martin, Kristen Bombardier, and Caitlin Bruce were all students here once upon a time. Our current staff that has over 10 years is myself, Leanne, Shayna Castine, Emily Wren, Victoria Stickle, and Kathy Tatro. We've been here long enough, unfortunately, that we've lost some friends over the year. People who have helped the center out, and not just working here, but serving on our board, and just being a friend to the place. So Jim Farrell was a teacher here for a few years. We lost him. Of course, Bob and Ann Morgan. This place wouldn't exist without them. They're still here. Trust me, they're here. We see them a lot, even though they're long gone. Ray Lavoie, my mother, Paula Villian, was a huge supporter of this place. Red Wilder, who lived across the road and used to guise himself as Santa Claus to help us get the kids to behave. John Paul Tatro was a huge supporter of this place. And we just lost a few weeks ago, Randy Bedard was a huge supporter of this place. Some businesses that have helped us out over the years is Rainey's Repair. They make their annual visit to work on our furnace, sometimes twice. And the whole Poirier family, their children came here. They've donated countless hours and dollars to this place. Probably one of our biggest supporters. Smith & Son, LaBarge Agency. I was hoping Andre LaBarge would be here tonight, but I couldn't find her. So, Giroux Poultry and Shazy Orchards. Pfizer was a huge, this place wouldn't have existed if we hadn't had Pfizer at the time that we opened. And as Pfizer got smaller, Customs and Border got bigger, so that's where a lot of our families started coming from. UPS, Twin Town True Value, Champlain Telephone, and I'm sure there's many, many other places that have contributed. Agencies that have helped us are the United Way, the Adirondack Foundation, and the Cloudspitter Foundation. It's based towards the Lake Placid area. They give us a minimum of $5,000 every year to do whatever we want with. You know, we write a little mini grant, and that's where we get a lot of our supplies, our classroom toys, things like that. The Kiwanis Club, they just redid our sign out front. The actual centerpiece of the sign, Bob Morgan donated to us, but Kiwanis just fixed it up for us. The Rotary Clubs, Quality Stars, the Child Care Coordinating Council, and St. Patrick's Church for letting us move in here. You know, they pretty much did it rent-free for the first few years till we got on our feet. So, for me, the proudest part of being here is to see like some of our children come back and work for us. We have grandchildren here now. We have children of children coming in here. Having a former student enroll their child here is an ultimate honor, as far as I'm concerned. And I remember all of them. It's not as big deal to the younger staff, but and to hear that one just graduated from college is. And I just want to end with, because we have a sense of humor here. It's a story I've told a lot, but the funniest thing a child has ever said, and it actually happened in one of the first years. I know it wasn't your kid. So he was sitting on the floor, and he was picking his nose, and he was eating it. And I said, "What are you doing?" And he said, "I'm eating green boogers." And I said, "Why are you eating green boogers?" And he said, "Because the brown ones stick to your teeth." and that just sums up life as a child care provider. So thank you all for coming tonight. We have cupcakes, and we have punch, and a lot of friendship. And so thank you to everyone who supported this place over the years.
You're here.
It's amazing.
Wow. I'm gonna take his word on the green versus the
He's 28 and in the military.
That's the list of what you guys do was impressive, and what it takes to do it, and the longevity of the staff here and the quality of the staff. I mean, we're up here in a pretty rural area, and finding high quality people is hard enough. Keeping them is even harder, and they don't do this for the money. They don't. They do it because they love it, and people don't stick around unless they have a good working environment, and that's testament to your leadership, Becky. So thank you very much. And I'm glad, you would have made a great teacher, but somewhere else. But thanks for sticking around for a couple extra years. Really appreciate it.
We need you.
I want our current staff to come up here too, because they have to get on camera too.
Come on up here, current staff.
Come on, this is Shayna. They're not all here tonight, but we had a pretty good dose of them, so you have to look right at Calvin.
I want to take a picture of you.
We have 16 altogether.
You'd be working there.
Squish it. Squish it.
Well, if anyone else would like to speak, speak now. Thanks everybody for coming, and like Becky said, we've got some refreshments, and whoop, Jamie's going to.
We want to thank Calvin for coming.
Absolutely.
Because, he was here 25 years ago, and that's on YouTube if anybody wants to watch an open house opening ceremony for the Champlain Children's Learning Center. Bob Morgan is featured quite prominently in that YouTube video, and I don't know is there a name for that video, Calvin? Could somebody just find it on YouTube?
Might be, look under Children's Learning Center probably.
Can we post a link, a fresh link on the Learning Center Facebook page?
It made me
We'll check out our page later.
emotional, watching it because it was just so characteristic Bob being interviewed. Yeah.
I gotta go see it again.
Yeah, watch it on YouTube.
Thanks again, and thanks everybody. Refreshments.
Yes.
Let's just hang out and enjoy.
Punch is divine.
This is still on.
Yes.
So a very nice ceremony. As you can see, a lot of people put a lot of effort into this facility, and it continues to thrive. If you want to learn more, by all means visit their Facebook page, and we hope to have this video up there, and maybe we'll dig out that one from 25 years ago so they can share it on their Facebook page. Champlain Children's Learning Center here in Maple Street in beautiful downtown Rouse's Point. Thanks for watching Hometown Cable.